one.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Jackson. I'm the founder of Volara. I brought a technology called ActivePure to the world from NASA. I'm excited to take a little bit of time and do a little deep dive into this technology. I like to talk to people about the fact that we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking that created the problem. Indoor air pollution, mold, bacteria, and viruses growing indoors were caused by man-made problems. We weren't designed to live indoors. Solving this indoor environment where viruses cause people to get sick and kids go home because of the flu requires a new paradigm shift, a new way of thinking if we're going to solve them. The old-fashioned way doesn't work. Remember the 1970s? There was an oil embargo. Wall Street said during that oil embargo, when gas went up to 50 cents a gallon, the Wall Street Journal said America sealed their homes up and businesses with deadly precision. We sealed nature out, we super insulated and sealed our environments up, and we began to grow incubators of mold, of bacteria, and viruses. A new word came into play called sick building syndrome. We tried to solve the problem with old traditional strategies like filters. Filters and HEPA filters and MERV filters didn't solve the problem because most of the particles in the air, including the viruses and the mold and the bacteria, never get to that filter. The ones that do get to the filter often go right through like water in a spaghetti strainer because these viruses are so very, very small. The other thing people try is exchanging the air. You know, you can exchange air 3, 4, 5 times an hour. You're still going to have the virus, the mold, the bacteria floating in the air. It doesn't matter. There's so many dead spots, so many vortex areas that never ever get exchanged. The other thing that people do is they use UV light, thinking, well, I can put a nice $1,000 UV light up in my plenum of my air HVAC system. Here's the problem again. Particles that do get into the cold air return go past that UV light so fast, it does virtually nothing. Here's the bottom line. The pollution, the virus, the mold going in, past that UV light, come out of the vent on the other end exactly the same way that they went in. We attacked it from a different way, a different standpoint. We went to NASA. We went to the International Space Station. We worked with the technology that they had developed for the International Space Station. That technology was called PCO. We renamed it ActivePure. ActivePure is an active technology. Filters and UV lights are passive technologies. They sit somewhere and try to draw things that are bad to them. Our technology works like the sun. It goes out into the environment with a purifying plasma, just like the atmosphere of the Earth. This technology moves at about 1,200 feet a second, just like popcorn smell, sending the solution, ActivePure, to the pollution. This technology was derived by NASA, certified space technology, and it neutralizes pollutants and contaminants in places other technologies and filters simply can't reach. It all starts here from our headquarters in Dallas, Texas. We're a US-based company where we manufacture much of our product in the US, much we manufacture around the world because of the demands. We, for example, manufactured 25,000 systems at the beginning of 2020. We thought it would last a year. Those sold in 1 week. This is a high demand technology. Now, this is kind of shows you what ActivePure can do before and after from a layman's standpoint. This Petri dish was tested in the home of a 68-year-old man that suffered from asthma attacks and used an inhaler every day. His room was filled with bacteria, mold, and viruses. We ran ActivePure for only 8 hours and then retested, and you can see that the new dish was clean. That's exactly how this technology works. This is the technology that everybody's talking about. This is the technology that is storming the world. It's called the Air and Surface Pro. It does 2 main things. One, it sends particles out into the air called bipolar ions, negative and positive ions. I want you to imagine with me, this pollen particle gets touched with a negative ion. This dust mite gets touched with a positive ion. Virus, negative. Dust, positive. Mold spore, negative. What happens? They start clinging together. They begin to get heavier than air. And according to the University of Cincinnati, they fall out of the air 90% in a 3,000 square foot environment in only 30 minutes. Removing particles from the air is the first stage of successful sanitizing in an indoor environment. The second thing that Active Pure does is it moves out at 1,200 feet a second into the environment, neutralizing those particles, those mold, that bacteria, those viruses. And this is the reason that this company was awarded, of only 75 companies in the world today, with the Space Technology Hall of Fame induction. Ladies and gentlemen, think about, for example, direct TV, satellite TV. Thank you, NASA. I can watch TV even when there's not an antenna close by. How about GPS? Thank you, NASA. I don't have to get lost in downtown Los Angeles. This is a powerful technology that works everywhere it goes, and it was first used before any home, any business, by the International Space Station. We're very proud of our association with them. Now, the technology is being installed everywhere, millions of homes and businesses. We're seeing big coaches, buses, Ubers, schools, thousands and thousands of schools installing the technology. This is something that every home should have. Here's a partial list of some of the schools you can see. Florida, Delaware, Wisconsin, Texas, South Carolina, Wisconsin. They're going in all over the place. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that the schools really love is the fact that when you install this technology, for example, in Pennsylvania and Indiana, they had 20, 30 absenteeisms on a monthly basis. We were able to reduce absenteeism in Pennsylvania and Indiana by 80% over a 2-year and a 13-month study. And we were able to reduce staph infections by 100% by year number 3, doing nothing different but installing this technology. They tried the cleaning route, they tried the fogging route, they tried the UV lights, they tried all kinds of stuff. But Active Pure is what actually worked and did the job. Now, these are studies that I'm going to blow through for you, ladies and gentlemen, pretty quickly. I want you to see the theme, though. These are FDA-compliant laboratories using only FDA protocols. And what we're working on here is how do we reduce RNA and DNA viruses. RNA viruses, of course, are viruses that are the coronavirus family that we've been hearing about. And you can see 99.49% 49 reduction in only 1 hour. But the DNA viruses are the same, 99.999% with DNA viruses. This is Staphylococcus, again, 6-log kill. This is gram-negative bacteria, 5-log kill. All of these are down to the point of not even detectable. This is black mold, 99.99% with black mold. Everybody knows somebody that has mold issues. They need to challenge them to have this technology and get rid of it. MRSA, staph, antibiotic-resistant staph, 99.9%. This is a study that shows the particles coming out of the air at the University of Cincinnati. Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is there's nothing we've ever tested this technology on that it hasn't worked spectacularly. We know that there's going to be more variations of many different viruses. We don't know what's yet to come, but we know there's nothing that this technology has ever been tested on that it didn't work. Here's the airborne SARS-CoV study that shows that we can reduce that virus that causes COVID-19 by 99.96% in only 3 minutes. We know that this technology is deadly on surfaces like television remotes, on desk surfaces, light switches. That's where these diseases are transferred. This is a hotel room, by the way, and you can see after 24 hours, the surfaces were cleansed and sanitized, and they stayed that way for 30 days. Virtually in every case, we were able to reduce that technology to virtually zero or not detectable. The sports world has discovered us, just as the schools have. And you know, the New York Yankees do not want an athlete getting a MRSA infection or athlete's foot problems or things like that. This technology does wonderful in that area. Let me finish up by just giving you a paragraph on how Active Pure works, ladies and gentlemen. Units with Active Pure technology pull free oxygen and water molecules that are in the air already through Active Pure's patented honeycomb matrix. The technology creates powerful oxidizers. We like to call them Active Pure molecules. They're then released back into the room where they seek and destroy DNA and RNA viruses, including SARS-CoV-2, which causes COVID-19, including swine flu, H1N1, avian bird flu, H5N8, even hepatitis A, MS2. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a technology that you, I'm sure, are going to want to share with other people, and this recording will help you do that. This is the final slide that shows how this technology works, not just on the air, but on surfaces, 99.98% of that SARS virus. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time to evaluate this technology. Please